Yoga is starting to, it's not what everybody really thought it was. It's not an exercise routine that you twist yourself into a pretzel. We know that it's much more than that. But yoga is actually the practice of meditation and what you get out of that. It's been like that for thousands of years. Or at least from Patanjali's point of view, 150 years before Christ was born. So, being in the Western world, I don't know about you, but sitting here for 30 minutes was really tough for me. Very tough. A lot of people, we're used to sitting in seats, not on the floor. Unless you're a yoga instructor and you have no previous injuries in your back or your hips or your knees or anything like that, this is a perfect tool. And this has actually been used for thousands of years as well. They've used these in several Eastern cultures. But the reason I called it the Namaste bench is just because of what it represents. It represents an evolution in yoga, and the oneness that we all are. So, how do you use the Namaste bench? It's really simple. See how it folds?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All you do is stand up on your knees, put it down to one side, go this way. So you notice that the top part that comes up above, that's pointing towards the ceiling. Make sure you got it there. Put it down to the side. And you're going to bring it back and just basically grab both parts, flip it back and hold on to them and sit back. So notice the alignment that you have. Right? You can either scoot down a little bit or scoot up, but you'll find that spot to where you literally take all of that resistance off your lower lumbar and you're able to sit for a long time in meditation. So this becomes a very powerful piece of furniture for people. And all the people that have actually experienced this, and I actually have yoga teachers that are working with little kids on these benches now and educating them to meditation concepts. But instead of time out, they're teaching them time in to observe their thoughts and their reasoning. Very powerful tool or piece of furniture. That the great thing about it is that it connects you with everything that you're looking for, especially with yoga. So a lot of teachers are starting to, and I'm not sure if you've noticed the trend, they're starting to add meditation on at the end of their classes more than ever. It's not Shavasana anymore and then running out of the classroom. It's okay, now it's time to sit. And you're starting to see that that's happening more and more. People are sitting longer and longer and longer. And that is the evolution of yoga. And that's all part of this whole shift in consciousness. Right? It really goes into a lot of different things. So, is everyone comfortable?
Yeah.
It's no pressure on your knees, your back, nothing. It's very comfortable.
Feel good?
Really bad knees.
So you know what?
So I put them to the side.
Actually, I have a great way for you to do this. What you can do is use it and cross your legs.
Thank you.
Use it, cross your legs.
No, that's perfect for me. Absolutely perfect. It feels so good.
And if you need more support on the hips or the knees, just take a block and set it right here on each side. And again, you have that same, because of the elevation, the slant on the meditation board, it just kind of keeps everything flowing. Keeps all the
This would really be good for drum circles too.
Absolutely.
I have a question for you, Gretchen.
What?
What do you think Einstein would have said about this?
Tell us, Albert. Tell us, please. What? What did you say?
E equals the Namaste bench.
Ah!
Yes.
He is a dork, isn't he? Make sure
But
that
that's why we
stays in the
love you.
video, okay?
That's why we love you.
That's why we love you.
Um,
And he's a bit of a brat, too.
We'll
A
keep it.
dorky brat.
Okay.
Yes, in a good way.
We're keeping all of this in the video.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So anyways, what I'm learning with people, and the more that people are actually setting with these Namaste benches, they're like, wow,
I
it's
like
so much
this.
easier to develop a practice outside of yoga as well.
Mhm.
So, you can take this thing with you, and, when you're done with your class, you load it up, throw it in your car, take it home, and put it in your favorite corner. Some people are saying that they're setting it right next to their bed.
Well, my little puja table, so, that would be really, this would be perfect by it, because then I could store it right underneath.
Absolutely. Now, what's really cool, too, is that if you want to work with it, because I'll, use my laptop sometimes and sit down. If you flip it around, see how the back is
Rounded?
turned?
Oh.
You can change the position and set up a little bit higher, okay, and kind of position yourself to rock. And it's just as comfortable, if not more comfortable, as the other way.
Super duper.
So,
How are you both feeling?
Really good. Yeah, it's very comfortable, very nice. Very easy to sit straight that way.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So the cool part is that, did you ever meet Dr. Porter, Emily Porter?
No.
She's one of the environmental sustainable professors at FGCU.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was at one of my workshops, the one I was telling you about that I was working on. And she really enjoyed the concept and everything. I kind of lost track with her, and I just caught up with her the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The Small Business Development Center at FGCU, they're actually helping me with this whole project. And we came up with the concept of doing a documentary. We've got one of the marketing professors that we're going to take a class of these kids and see what different concepts they come up with for marketing it. We're going to videotape it all while they're learning the Empower Yoga Project, which is what I teach my yoga class. It's like a 12-week program to where I literally teach people what I believe to be the true meaning of yoga. And I teach them all of those different concepts and ideas and principles that I've learned from my teacher.
So
No.
would you actually be able to do any asanas on here? On the bench? Have you ever done anything that
This
would...
is the asana. This is sitting is what it means.
I know
Now,
what you're saying.
If you want to
But I'm saying,
use it as a tool to
As a
modify your
tool,
yoga
as a
pose.
prop, yeah.
Oh yes. There's a 2-inch. It would be a 2-inch foam, replacing the foam with this. Actually, I have Salima doing that on the video on the website. But other than that, other things to use it for, it's really just a meditation tool, which is really, to me, the most important part of yoga, or of your own spiritual evolution, really, when you think about it. Right? You feeling me? It's going to be really cool. So what we're going to do is not just get the marketing group or the students involved with figuring this out, but also at the same time teach them all of these principles and let them use the Namaste bench and then see what happens. And then, of course, the self-sustainable part. The whole concept of the Namaste bench is to raise enough money to build a nonprofit community center like Ellen Peterson did with Appalachia, and to basically have an open source community center that teaches everything from self-sustainable to organic gardening to every different type of yoga to anything and everything that really has to do with evolving spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And that's where I'm going. And it's going to be this huge geodome. We're going to build a geodome. Have you ever heard of this guy named Bucky Fuller?
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating gentleman. He was a really cool dude. But he came up with the concept of a geodome. Like a big bubble, like a
Yeah.
half circle.
Yeah.
Is that like down in the Epcot?
Yeah, actually he's the one that came up with the Epcot Center. He designed that for them.
They're doing that up at GCU? Is that what you were saying? I was kind of
I'm going
zooming
to
out
build,
on the Namaste bench.
right, the funds for this will actually help to build this community center that we're
Okay.
mapping out. So we're going to take the funds from the documentary as well as everything else that we're doing and create this.
Cool.
Living the dream. Huge!
Oh,
And you don't have to think about it. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's just easy and natural. Yeah.
Do you feel like you could sit for a long time?
Totally. Yeah.
It's very comfortable. I always have to prop a pillow underneath my bottom to keep my spine straight, and this just naturally does it because of the slope of the bench.
I do. You know, there is something about having that pelvic tilt, you know, when you're meditating. Just, it's like there is a kind of a specific alignment that happens.
Right.
wait, let's do that again.
What?
It's huge. With the thumb.
It's huge!